And my daughter, she was 15 years old and she passed away suddenly in June of 2015. So when that happened, I was like, okay, I thought I had a pretty good handle on things, but now I've got to deal with this real grief, right? The loss of a daughter, the loss of a child. So I started doubling down and really digging into, things about the afterlife, things about how do we overcome grief? Can we overcome grief, et cetera? And then about 4 or 5 years ago, after doing, another 4 or 5 years of that deep exploration, said, I want to help other people that are going through this because, again, as I said, this is a universal experience, whether it's the loss of a child, a spouse, a parent, a job, a relationship, a dog, a pet. All these things are things that we're all going to have to go through. And what I've learned during my exploration since that time is grief is not something that we just have to endure, that we need to try to, get over. It's not a disease. It can actually be an opportunity for us to grow, to become stronger, to become more conscious. So that's the message I try to bring to people.
So what really was the catalyst? There had to have been something that just pushed you to delve into this information and to understand, because there are a lot of people that would lose loved ones and they don't delve into the information like you've did. So what moment or moments led you or pushed you to say, okay, I'm going to try to figure this out, because clearly this is not something that the average person would do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to understand that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think part of it just goes back to my nature. Again, when I was a kid, I asked all those questions that most people don't. They just accept that the planet is the way it is, and that's just, that's the way it is. Shayna is kind of like I am. Shayna would always ask me questions. Why? Why, Daddy? Why? Why is the sky blue? Why? To infinity, just why? And that's how I was. I would take things apart when I was a kid. I would literally, how does this radio work? So I'd take it apart and see what was inside of it. So I think that was a big part of it. But when my daughter passed, really, frankly, I didn't want to be on the planet anymore. I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to live without her. I didn't see the point. I knew I thought I would never be happy again. But I specifically remembered a moment. I went to a grief meeting. It was and there was a woman there, and her daughter had passed away, I think 10 years before. And this woman was miserable. She was just as angry and depressed, I think, as she was the day her daughter passed. And I thought, I can't be that. Even though I wanted to be that, I'd actually made a vow that's what I was going to be. I was like, that's not fair to my family. It's not fair. I have another daughter. I have a wife. I have family. And I knew my daughter, Shayna, wouldn't want that for me. So I made a decision then, if I'm going to be here, and I guess I'm going to be here, I can't live this way. I've got to figure this out. So it is a choice that we can all make consciously. Some people choose to make it and some people don't.